If you just joined us, it's still Enterprise Morning, reaching you from Enterprise Television. Let's get to our conversation for today. The political tension in Kogi State escalated on Tuesday as suspended Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan defied a government ban on rallies to visit her constituency. Despite a curfew and police warnings, she arrived in Okehi to a large, enthusiastic crowd. Her visit sparked outrage from Senate President Godswill Akpabio and Governor Usman Ododo, who accused her of violating the law. Akpoti-Uduaghan alleged an assassination plot against her, blaming Akpabio, Ododo, and former Governor Yahaya Bello. She also condemned attempts to recall her from the Senate, calling the petition fraudulent. In response, the Kogi State government dismissed her claims as false and malicious. Authorities insisted the rally ban was for security reasons, though critics argued it was for political motivation, which they said it is. But despite threats, Akpoti-Uduaghan remained defiant, insisting she had every right to celebrate Salah with her people and vowing not to be silenced. I still have with me John Kerile and Barrister Fansufeli. Thank you so very much, gentlemen, for hanging on.
Thank you, it's my pleasure.
All right, yes. So I'd love to start with you, Barrister Fansufeli. The coming of Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan is so very synonymous to the triumphal entry into Jerusalem. We might call that the triumphal entry into Kogi State by the senator. When all roads were blocked, this lady took the air. Yeah. And arrived. Now, I'd love you to maybe help us, elaborate this further. When you look at this personality, what do you see? What do you see in the person of Senator Natasha?
Well, she's just a very dogged politician, okay, who know how to explore her options in the face of adversity. Okay, what she did, because the ban was actually against procession, okay, so if you have a ban against procession and then you have maybe some issue of coffee and all that in some areas, Kogi Central is her constituency, and that is what she represents. And she came by air, and upon coming by air, her people were already gathered. Those ones, I mean, you cannot say people should not walk. Okay, procession against, we are talking about convoy and the rest of that. And she defied all the restrictions. Because I think that the ban or the law or regulation was made in bad faith. No law says that a lawmaker cannot come and visit her people or his people. No law says so. And you see why they are doing this, because democracy have failed really. Ordinarily, they are compelled by law. It's an obligation. Either quarterly or half yearly or yearly. They must go to their constituency. That's why they give them funds to build constituency projects and have constituency offices in different. So it is actually an obligation of law, okay, that she visits her constituency time again and again, because she's riding on their mandate. They donated their allegiance upon which she was made a senator, even though the mandate was stolen at the beginning. She went to court and got it. You understand? Now, the governors and her opponents should bury their heads in shame for preventing or making an attempt to prevent a senator from going to her constituency. It's anti-democracy. Because what the governor and this opponent are saying in effect is that you don't need your people to lead them. You don't need to visit them, impliedly. That's what they're saying. And that's anti-democracy. That's not where democracy lies. Democracy is government of the people. It should remain so. But in Nigeria, There are no consequences
President,
if democracy is not
colleagues,
for the people.
I'm Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan.
There are no consequences.
And I stand.
So they are edging her in that direction because of personal vendetta and political tension and the rest of opposition. So look at what they did. They went to our constituency, deceived people that they're going to bring empowerment to them. They should write their names and sign their signatures, and only for the people to find out that they are going to use those information to recall her. If truly she's not popular in her constituency, they don't need fraud.
But that is a 419 now.
Yes, it's fraudulent. Yes. And once fraud is inferable in a process of recall, it cannot pass. It will fail. You understand? What I'm saying is that if truly she's not popular, all they need to do is to go to the people and tell them the truth that we want to recall her because she's not doing well. The people will not agree. So because they knew the people will not agree, they used deception to penetrate the people. And because they know the people are largely poor, they will put down their name, put down their signature, put down their brother's name, sister's name. They will put a lot of names down because you say it's empowerment. And everybody wants empowerment to reach them. Only for you to now turn out, only for you to, what you now did was to now collate it and took it to INEC to ask for her recall. And even when you are perpetrating the fraud, you don't even know what to do because you left out their phone numbers, you left out their addresses, you left out many of the things that INEC should have used to do verification. You left it out. You now went back again. When the people now declined, you now went into a room and started forging, addressing signatures, that things you didn't collect in your first outing. You started collecting that, came up with 250,000, whatever. So this is bad faith.
Very, very well. John, I'd love you to speak to this matter. Some pundits have concluded that in Nigeria today we've met every threshold that should give birth to a fifth republic. Because if you take a look at what happened in the First and Second Republic, is so sympathical to all that we see today from our politicians that have led to successive military dictatorships in Nigeria. So don't you think that what our politicians are doing are unconsciously inviting another republic? Because if this continue, don't you think that is what we would see with this large amount of illegality happening today to our politics in Nigeria?
Well, for me, I want to say kudos to Senator Natasha Akpoti. I think for me, she has distinguished herself, as a senator. And she has opened different dimensions to this issue. Now, for the issue of recall, how did Senator Natasha come into office in the first place? That will show to you that there are many troubles. The mandate was taken from her through fraudulent means, and she had to go to court to claim back the mandate. That was the first problem. Now, those people who got the mandate wrongly, use their cunning way to get the mandate, will not relent in their effort. And I'm very sure that when you have two enemies in the other chamber, she's not in good time with the leadership in terms of Senator Akpabio, and on the other hand, at her own front, she's not even happy. Those people that she took the mandate from are not happy too. So there are two enemies. Now, when these two enemies now come together on you, that's what you are seeing. But I think what she has done is to show to the whole world that those who are calling for the recall, you can see that my people love me. And you can see the number of crowd, who are cheering her to show that she is indeed popular and that her constituents love her. Now, that takes us to another angle of this conversation. How many senators who have been in the House of Assembly for 20 years, let's calculate the amount of constituency allowance they've collected for 20 years and let them pinpoint to the project and the environment they've done. Does it correlate? And so that is a question that every sitting senator and member must answer now. Because now they have opened the eyes of Nigerians to it, that there's constituency allowance and projects. And so, how many of them have been recalled by their own political party? And I think this madness should stop. It shouldn't be a case if you are not in APC, you should go to hell. No. And so, if she was in APC, this matter wouldn't have been up to this level. I'm very sure of that. Because they say, oh, just leave her, let her go. But because she's in opposition, and that's what you're saying. But what she has raised, an allegation, we have not even found an independent panel to investigate, the truthfulness of what she's alleging. Now, if we check that, if she is right or she's wrong, then let the law take its course. But in this case now, the moment they come up with different plans, she is showing you the direct opposite of it. You have said that the constituents are complaining that that's what they said that to do. But those people who welcome her, are they imported from Abuja? Are they imported from Kaduna? So, but she has shown you that in her own constituent, she is delivering the democracy and that she's popular. And so that recall process is dubious, is false, and is unreal. And that also points to two different arrows. One is Senator Akpabio, and the second one is to Yahaya Bello and his cohort. Do you understand? Now, using the instrumentality of government to stiffen opposition is not democracy that we all clamor for. And so I think that at this point in time, everybody should look at it, that Natasha Akpoti is our own Moremi, and I'm indeed, as a Nigerian, I'm super proud of her, and that she's a woman that every of our girl child should model after, knowing that even in the case of adversity, stand your ground and take your courage and stay on the path of the truth. And then history will not forget you. I'm very sure that history will not forget Natasha for the dogged fight that she's putting up against this, corrupt institution. And that's what I'm saying to you, that our political setting and era is a system. And for you to get in that system, my brother, there are things that you must do. And so if you don't go against the rules of the system, you will be kicked out. And that's what they want to do to her now. But I think at this point in time, every senator that has not delivered on dividends of constituency projects should also be called out. And this is a call to all Nigerians. So now go back to your phone and check, who is the senator? What are the promises? Constituency project, how much is it? What are the projects he has done in this constituency? Does it amount? If not, call him out and let the court process start like that. If Nigerians wake up to this kind of recall process, I think all our senators will not be sleeping in their low chamber because they know that Nigerians are watching and they can activate the recall process. The next one again is that INEC should make the recall process procedure, to be in black and white, to be plain, so that every Nigerian can understand how the recall process works. Because for me, effectiveness in leadership is key. And over time, we have seen that the Senate has become a retirement home where governors, after doing 2 terms, will come back and sit in the hollow chamber, and they can sit there as long as they want. That does not give effective leadership. What that gives, it brings in anarchy and it brings in godfatherism. And that's why a senator can be dictated to become governor in his own state. Why? Because he has been governor for 8 years. He's been a minister for 4 years. He's been in the Senate for 16 years. For God's sake, what kind of leadership will you give to the people? What kind of policy will you make? And at this point in time, let's start asking our senators one by one. How many bills have you sponsored in this year so far? And based on that, we can say either we recall you or we don't recall you. Then Nigerians will get effective legislation, dividends of democracy in terms of constituency project, and then the country will be better for it.
Very, very true, because it's often said when democracy is etched away, when the rule of law is etched away, it might lead to the demise of a democracy. Barrister, with respect to your area of forte, you deal with facts. Yeah. And not just about emotion and hearsay or personal feelings and all that. Senator Natasha had said that there is an assassination plan against her. She had equally named people whom we know, Godswill Akpabio, Ododo, and so on. Now, do you think this will pass the litmus test in the court of law?
Yeah. What I think is that on the issue of assassination attempt against her, I would rather advise that she restrain herself from mentioning names. It could be possible that it's possible that, and I believe her, that there are assassination attempts in her life. Politicians do it. I mean, it's a common thing amongst them. they go about deleting each other to ensure that they have a free way to go about their ambition. Of course, they do that. But if you don't have evidence, if you don't have maybe someone that made a confessional statement that this person gave me this money to come and take your life, and this is the money, this is how he transferred, this is his name. If she doesn't have such evidence, she can talk about it, tell her constituents, talk about it, but she should restrain from mentioning him because of court action. Okay? You know, court action will be, if a court action is slammed against it, ask you to come and prove it. Bring evidence to, if you cannot prove it, then you get into more trouble.
But in the Western world, if such allegation is brought forward, don't you think this is an open opportunity for security operatives to do some digging deep?
Yeah, it's not
without just saying she shouldn't say what she feels.
No, I said she can say it.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm saying she not to mention names, what I'm talking about. She should say it, okay, and then engage the security agencies to investigate it, okay. That's what should be done. You know, when she was suspended, her security were withdrawn. Okay, now she's very vulnerable. Really very vulnerable because she's using private securities. Okay, and then she's using private means to transport herself. She no longer have any of the paraphernalia of office. Okay, so what she's saying may not be out of place. Okay, I believe her. And saying it out this early is quite very important. But to mention names, you might be mentioning the names of your opponent. They may not even be the one orchestrating it. But it's natural to think they are the ones, okay? But if you will not, in the long run, be able to prove it, why mention the names? So because of litigation, but saying it is the proper thing to do. That is what is affecting her. She needs to say it.
And you don't think this could be a tactics, an emotional blame tactics, just to get her rivals to maybe desist from that if they are planning of doing that?
Well, I don't know what it is, because she's the one who divulged the information. Whether she's using it as a tactic or whether she's using whatever it is, she should restrain herself from calling names. Whatever she's using it for is immaterial right now. What is important is that she has constitutional safeguards, okay? Those safeguards are available to her, but mentioning names will not be a very good idea because of, like I said, litigation.
Very true. John, you are in the diaspora, you know, right about now, and the Google is one click away from everyone. And when they click on, and the next thing they see is stories like this in Nigeria. Some people in the diaspora have come up to say that Natasha has gone too far in, you know, blackmailing Nigeria and giving Nigeria a black name, which they are not comfortable with. Do you really buy such a submission? Is she going beyond her boundaries? Do you think so?
Well, I don't think she's going beyond her boundary. She's just trying to exercise her freedom of expression. And for the fact that she's also a senator, you know, she's just trying to express herself. But for me, what I think again is this, that the country, you know, would have used this avenue. And that's what I want to tell this administration. Any stone thrown at this administration should be used as an avenue to put the country and the administration in a good light before the world. Now, you just said that we are a click away on the internet and can get all of this information, okay? And that's how when some of them travel and make all kind of lie and presentations, I just shake my head and laugh, because people are presenting to have all the information they're asking you, and they know it already before asking you. They just want to see how sincere you will be to give them the real fact, because the facts are on the internet already. Now, what this administration ought to have done in the case of Natasha is that they ought to have positioned the country as a country that listens to women, one. As a country that is not biased, okay? Two, as a country that, you know, take every matter about girl child and women serious, including Natasha Akpoti, she's a woman. And so that would have been seen as a country that is, you know, advancing in terms of woman equality and protecting human rights. In that case, this is what Natasha has said. As a government, as a country, we have set up an independent panel to investigate this issue and give us reports in a month, in 2 months. Now, the findings of this panel is this, and this. Based on what we have seen that what she alleged, is true or is not true. If it's true, this is what we are taking as a step as a government and as a country. If it's not true, this is what we are taking. So in that case, the world will see you as a responsive government who, understand the right of people and give that equality across board, irrespective of the office. Natasha Akpoti and Akpabio are both senators. There's nobody who is higher than the other. The only thing is that when you come into the Senate, you must choose a leader. And so that's why they call them one first among equal. So all of you are senators elected by the people. And so nobody is higher than anybody. We all are all the equal right. So for me, I think when that thing happened, this administration had the opportunity to have, corrected themselves, presented themselves in a good image. In communication, I've forgotten what that is called. When people give you a bad jab, you can use that same bad jab and give a good narration about what is happening and let it be seen that it's true, it's open, and it's transparent. Now, that would have given you an edge at the global space, because not every country will call you to ask you your own side of the story. But how you respond to those stories, they see, and from there they can pick where you stand as a country, as against what you write in your speech or in your traveling meetings with the prime ministers, because these are some of the issues that they look out for, not the ones that is scripted. And so for me, I think there's still time for this administration to use Natasha Akpoti's case as a precedent to setting things right and being equal to everybody, irrespective of your political divide, religious divide, or your geographical location in the country, Nigeria.
So very, very true. I think this is an opportunity, just like you have rightly said, it's an opportunity for us to reposition the country. Our image currently is battered, and I think this is an open sesame for us to make right some of these things, because the world is watching. We're hoping and praying and asking for foreign direct investment, not portfolio investors really, but investors that will come and invest in the real economy. How would they feel when all of these things they see happen in Nigeria? I think we just have to let it go for now. Barrister Vansufeli, in 60 seconds, if you may, what do you think Senator Godswill Akpabio should do at this point? Do you think it's good enough for him to just say, my sister, let's forgive and forget?
That is it. That is what he should have made that the day Natasha stood up to address the Senate from her, when they say it's not longer her seat, that's the day he should have quelled that problem. He shouldn't have asked that they commence any whatever to suspend her.
So he didn't manage it properly?
He didn't manage it properly at the spot. As an experienced person, okay? Natasha is a very young lady. She's 41 or thereabouts. Yeah. She's very young. So this is somebody that says, she's also young in the Senate. This thing would have been nipped in the bud. But he decided to exert his on camera, authority on the boiling, on directing her. You understand? They don't know that this lady can go this length. Before you know it, the problem has escalated. Before you know it, she has gone to dig archives out of sexual harassment, and you are pushing her. She's in the United Nations. From there to Sky News, from Sky News to her state, you stop her, she comes with a helicopter. The next time you say nobody should come by air or by road, she will come with boat through the River Niger. You'll be creating more problems, and then you are actually making her very popular. Very popular. In the next 5 to 6 years, you see women will be naming their children Natasha, just like they did to Chimamanda. In the last 15 years, the number of Chimamanda, it was just last year that Chimamanda came out to say that name is not even Igbo. She coined it. A lot of people thought it was even Igbo. So this dispute is needless. Dispute must come to an end. Even in law, they say that litigation must come to an end. That's why you have the Supreme Court, where the court will stall everything with a judgment, whether you like it or not. You cannot litigate that matter, because it's been called what in law we call it res judicata. The case must rest. You can't battle from beginning of life to the end of life. no, it's not done.
Very, very true. And some people, some Nigerians have concluded, have affirmed that Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan might make a very great governor of Kogi State, hopefully anytime soon. John, do you see that happening? And if it does, do you think Senator Natasha would make an awesome governor? In 30 seconds, if you may.
I think two things that Senator Natasha have done. One is to inspire more women to be bold about their issues, and then to come out and speak in public without anybody's, taking them down. And the second thing again is that she has shown to you that she's got what it takes in terms of leadership, and that she's a woman of valor that can lead Kogi. I won't be scared. I won't be surprised if I see her poster, running for governor. And I think she will make a perfect governor, a shining example that will bring the pride of women and womanhood in Nigeria again. And I think at this point in time, the nation will be proud of the woman called Natasha. As a matter of fact, don't be surprised that you get to see lapel of Natasha being hung on shirt by women, showing that she's a beacon of hope for a girl child.
Very, very true. A beacon of hope for the girl child, and that is very so profound and important. Thank you so very much, gentlemen, for being here. Barrister Vansufeli.
My pleasure.
Thank you as always for being here. Yeah. John Akerele, thank you so very much, sir. We truly do appreciate you.
It's my pleasure. God bless Nigeria.
Awesome. All right, people, that's just about the time we have for today. We'd love to say thank you for making this picture complete, but please do well to visit us, to read up on what we have just discussed. When you see us at enterprisetvnews.com, you may equally rewatch this when you visit us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. I am Henry Igwebike. Thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth. 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 Enterprise TV,